Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Yvonne from Ginger Chick Rehab. I'm so glad to have you back checking out what Chris and I are up to. So in today's video, this is what has turned into be a weekly thrift haul. So I share with you what I found when I was out thrifting, going to secondhand shops, and then at the end of the video, I share with you the items that needed some repair, or they needed fixed, or they needed to be completely made over. I share the process with you all, how I get items ready to resell. So if you love thrifting and you love secondhand shopping and you love to make over items and you are a reseller, or you're just like to do it for yourself to decorate your own home, these are definitely the type of videos for you. It's nice to share the process of what you find and what your vision for an item is and how to fix it or make it over to make it fit into your own home, or, like I said, to resell. So right off the bat, somebody must have been getting rid of their, like, I had a desk and I no longer want my desk and my den. So this is what this type of piece reminds me of, like a library piece. It definitely, it's hard to handle because it has fallen apart quite a few times. So all these little spindly pegs need to be re-glued, and then it's supposed to sit in this way. It's just a beautiful piece. So other than having to glue these back together, which I'm afraid that it's going to fall apart on me yet again, the poor lady at Goodwill that tried to get it into the bag. So this was $8.29, and there's nothing you can do about prices. It is what it is. So I'll glue this back together. I usually 3 times my price of what I paid for it on them to resell it in our booth. So this is what made me think that somebody was redoing their den area. So I ran across this now. It intrigued me. Of course, the engraving intrigued me, and then the little stamping pad, the beautiful engraving. This was $5.29. It has beautiful little inkwells. I don't know, we can find a complete match on the interweb. Here's where you would sit your quill, your pen. So it just intrigued me. I thought it was beautiful. It's really hard to find something that matches this. I don't know about that cherry mahogany type of finish. Do I leave the name? Do I not leave the name? Do I paint this over? That's only the hard thing about doing the makeovers with the hauls, is I can't ask your opinions. So, but since we couldn't really find anything on it and any matches, I don't think that it's terribly worth a lot. This wording, every time we typed that in, that it was a city in Poland. So there's that. So, but I just thought it was beautiful. You could see where they had multiple times stamped their signature. So it was used, but it's a very, very cool piece. Now, for $5.29, I picked up this clock. Look at this beautiful clock. Yes, it's just a battery operated, beautiful. Now I like to paint my clocks up black, but I don't know. I kind of almost like this one almost as is, just because of the brown color in it. But then I love those patinas to pop. So we'll see. It might be one of those items I put in, see how it sells as is, and then if it doesn't, and it sits too long, you can always bring it home and paint it. It's just hard to take paint. It's hard to take paint off. So that's my thought on that item. Now for this one was $6.29. Oh my goodness. Look, can you see? I know my ring light's picking it up. It's going to pick it up wherever I am. But it is hand blown. It's got, let me see. I turn that off for a second. Okay, so let's just turn this off so you can see it for a second. Like strings of how they pulled the glass. Oh my goodness. So it hangs, probably meant to hang outside. There was actually quite a few glass pieces, but they had them really priced a lot. So yeah, they had them priced really high, so I thought I could afford to pick up this one for resale. So I definitely think that's a neat piece. This was $5.29. Look, it's just a little 2-tier tray, but it has birds on it. I'm not sure about the shininess of it all. It's definitely got that finish, but it's in good condition, so I may just put it in as is. I don't know. I mean, part of me wants to do the patina on those little birds to make them pop a little bit more, because you know that it's birds, but it kind of just floats away. You don't even really see the leaves. So we'll see. There's no maker or anything on it, but $5.29. Yeah, I definitely thought this was a cute piece. And birds do. You know, probably a year ago, you guys all told me, yeah, birds sell, and you were right. They do sell. We have 2 glass vases. So this one was $7.29. And this one was $9.29, but other than cleaning them up, there's nothing I have to do to them. They're beautiful. They've got that beautiful detail around the top of them, so they just need cleaned. They look like they had store stickers on the bottom, but just beautiful pieces, a nice fun color. There's 2 of them. So yeah, I definitely did not pass these up. So like I said, you know, try 3 times your price in your booth to see how that goes. And let's see, I don't remember how much these were, but they were, oh, there it is. So for $4.29, which makes them almost $1 a piece, there were these nice baskets. And I know with that boho, a lot of people are still doing baskets on their wall. So a matching set of 4. Yes, I did pick these up, so we'll see. I do have the ones that I put from, I think it was my last thrift haul, or maybe a thrift haul before that, are still in the booth. So I'll wait for those to sell before I put something like this in. But these are definitely lightweight, easy, very easy with one of those 3M strips to be able to hang it onto your wall. This was $5.29. I'm sad that it's missing. It should have had a lid. And then the paint is coming off of it, which happens with these. So I will probably scrape the rest of scrape the rest of what the paint was. It's a wasp catcher. I've sold these in the past, and they usually in the season will sell fairly well. So I never bring one back home and change it out with anything. So yep, I do like to pick these up. This was $5.29 also. Look at it. It's an enamelware, nice little size pot with a lid. So, and this is definitely next to the red color. This seems to be the popular. The black and white seems to be very popular next to the red and white. So yeah, so I didn't pass that up, because you can use it and use it, or you can use it in your decor, or you could put a plant in it. Just a nice multiple purpose piece. And then it's actually, I like the wear on them. I think it gives it more character that it's old. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I think it gives it character. This piece, this was $5.29. It's just a metal piece. There's a tag in it that says Pier 1 for $45. So yeah, I like this piece. Deciding what to do with it, I'll figure that out if I want to paint it, because like I think people want decor pieces that kind of stand out. So as you see, it's just blending in with everything. So we'll see if I decide to paint it or not. Now, this one was $10.29, but I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get it all in here. There we go. It is a humongous bird cage. So yep, this one was $10.29. They just brought it out when I had stopped by. So leaving this one black. Love it when there's nothing I have to do to a piece. So yes, just a great statement piece. And I would probably ask about $35 for this. Yeah, I think that I could probably get there. Once I go up a little bit, it's a big piece, so I don't have a ton of room to go crazy with the pricing to want to sell it. So sometimes when you get to that $45, sometimes it just sits. So, and like I said, I don't want to have to. It's a big piece, and you only have so much room in your booth. So I don't know where you all get your inspirations, but I follow a lot of people on Instagram that do antiques and they find salvage finds and they decorate their homes, and they're always my inspiration, and they do a lot with baskets. And I just absolutely loved this picnic basket when I saw it for $6.29. We can I don't know if that's, oh, I don't know if that's broken. No, that's just how it is. Just a little bit of warpage going on, but this is definitely that nice statement, definitely a nice statement piece. It's huge, and it's actually still filled with it's filled with tablecloth and napkins, and there's some plastic silverware in there and some candlesticks. Some napkins. We got a couple little, and this is probably what they were using for their napkin rings. Just some, it's hard to get out there we go. Somebody had the whole set made up. I don't know if it was a wedding gift. And then there's let's dig it out now. Yeah, we got a candlestick. And then we have just a couple little throw blankets in the bottom. Oh, somebody had a very romantic time. Look at that. So, yeah, $6.29 for all of it. They were probably scared to open. I would probably be scared sometimes to open it up. And now I have all the dried grass, because they definitely used it. Maybe it was a proposal. I don't know. As if it. I just wanted it for the basket, guys. So $7.29. I actually just recently picked one of these I always call it Orbs. You guys have a fancy name for it. I call it Orb. So for $7.29, I've already actually picked one of these up. It's sold already. So I think 32 or 28 is depends on what I paid for it. So yeah. I think I sold it for $28 after just spray painting it black and putting polycrylic on it. So yeah, it sold. So I was happy about that. So since it's sold, now if it didn't sell and I would have ran across another one, I probably would not have picked it up. That's just kind of how I mean, you can only have so much inventory just because I like it. I gotta make sure somebody else likes it first. So now, yep, the lady at stocking the shelves at Goodwill literally was just carrying these, and I told her to put them right in my cart. So look at these. They are metal. They have some beautiful detail. So $5.29 and $7.29. So I definitely love these. And I will probably, because this brownie color doesn't really sell, it kind of just sits, but once I paint something black, I tell you, it sells better for me. So I will definitely, it's easy to spray paint something with the Rust-Oleum paint and primer and then put poly on it for it to be there and call it good. So just a little bit of paint, a little bit of sealer, and we're all good. I did run across one of these marble rolling pins, and especially when they have the base, even if it doesn't, I still pick these up. So this was $5.29. They sell really well. They don't last too long in our booth. So yep, I definitely pick them up. I don't do anything to the handles. I don't do anything to the base. I leave it as is. And so somebody must have been so the next day when I came in, there was this, which I guess maybe it was donated together. You know, that happens sometimes. So this was $6.29. It's that marble. It actually has a crate and barrel sticker on the bottom. So I don't know, maybe this was from, maybe the rolling pin was too. I don't know. But I've never sold like a utensil holder, but we'll see how it goes. I know the rolling pins sell really well, so I'll definitely it definitely needs a bath, but I'll definitely, I was very happy with that find. So I know I've shared with you guys in the past that I don't pick up brass unless it's animals. Animals will resell for me. So the pair was $4.29. It was a pair of deer. So just have that nice aged patina already to them. I know you can add a little bit of antiquing wax to them to make them even a little bit more aged, but I think they're beautiful as is, so I would just sell the set. Yeah, most of the time, yeah, if it's vases or anything like that. They just kind of sit there. Candlesticks don't sell for me, but animals do, so I will pick those up. And then this guy was $3.29. These birds, I've been doing the patina on these types of birds, painted black, and doing all those patinas on them, and they don't last. It's funny, my owl hasn't sold yet, so I'm hoping at the time that you see this video that if I talk about it, it will sell, or I probably jinx myself. But yeah, so this has, yeah, these birds, I paint them up black, I put that patina on there. I'm having a lot of fun with patinas, and those have been selling for me. So yeah, this is what this little birdie will get, even though he's got a cool paint job. But yeah, I'm going to patina him. Now this little drawer set was $4.29. I was happy to run across it. It's just one big drawer. I don't have any in my inventory. Every one of that I had in my booth has sold. So I'm always trying to look that they only need minimal, and you know, I don't have to do because usually about $24 is what I'll sell them for. So you don't want to put too much into it to resell them. So I'm always looking for some that doesn't have a lot of paint or anything like that. So a blue one is perfect for just to be able to paint it. So I found this tray, $6.29. It's got that aged kind of mirror going on. Yeah, it doesn't have a maker or anything, just says made in China. I'm trying to stay away from trays because they haven't really been selling, and I have way too many in my inventory. I love doing videos for you all, but yep, I had to stop because I have too many. So, but for $6.29, this is a definitely unique one. Oops. This is definitely a unique one, and I don't have to do anything to it, so I will sell it as is. I've actually sold similar with that type of mirror effect in the bottom. So for $5.29, upside down. So for a cute little clock, these little clocks sell well for us, just like the Hobby Lobby type. Now this white is beautiful. I'll leave this one as is, put a fresh battery in it. This one's a little bit smaller, so probably $16 price tag on this one to resell it. So yeah, fresh battery. Remember to always put a battery in your purse when you're thrifting if you're a reseller and you want to sell clocks, because sometimes they don't work and sometimes you don't know. A lot of times you can pick them up and you see the little mechanisms just swinging on their own, which they should not do. So so yeah, early on in my flipping career, I was like, oh, I'm bringing home way too many clocks that didn't work. I learned my lesson. For 49 cents at the Salvation Army, my son found this little crockery bunny, so we need to get him in there soon for the season if somebody wants to decorate with him. So yeah, that 49 cents, thank you. That was priced nice. And this was the same price at Salvation Army. Now these primitive ones sell really well for me, so if I find them, I love picking them up if they're reasonably priced. The regular white doesn't really sell for me, but if I find them in the primitive, yes, those do okay. So I'll hold on to this until it's closer to that season. So yes, pottery is still selling, guys. So I'm trying to be picky with what I pick up and what I find. So I found this beautiful tray the other day. This one is signed. I think they do better if they're signed. Coffee mugs and beer steins, that kind of stuff is okay out being signed, but when it comes to pieces like this, I do think people like them signed. They're just so, it almost looks like mountains. It's just beautiful. I think it was $6.29. It lost its price tag, but that's what I think that it was. I love this beautiful edging on it. So yeah, I like. So far, so good. This piece was $4.99 at the Salvation Army. Just a nice vase, nicely done. And then it does have a signature on the bottom, which is always funny because you very seldom can read the signatures. But nice glazing on it. I like the two-tone. I like that green color. I love that it has the handles on it. So yeah, so far, so like I said, so far so good that it's selling. This pottery piece is signed. This is John Past. I could actually read that, or fast. I think it passed. This was the community thrift that they tag. Under $5, I'm pretty sure. But look at that. Oh my goodness, they had done some epoxy in there. which just caught my eye. I mean, I liked the imperfections of the glazing, and the bowl. Well, I can't say that the bowls are a little iffy if they sell, but I think if I'm finding uniqueness, this epoxy done in the bottom of this should help that a little bit. And they almost don't even want to put anything in it because it's so pretty on the bottom. So yes, I love this piece. $4.29. It's a horse with glasses. Now, I'm not crazy about all of this on there. I'll double check. I don't see a signature. I don't see a sign. I see where a tag was pulled off. I like the glasses on him, so I may, if he's not worth much, paint it up and leave the glasses. That bunny, as soon as I put him in the same day, he sold had the glasses on. Animals and glasses are just funny. So yeah, so this is why I didn't pass this piece up. So the community thrift again, $4.99. I probably paid way too much money for this. But what I was looking for, I just went to a garage sale. I'll insert those pictures so I don't make the video too terribly long, because I've already staged them in my house. And if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, I shared my hauls from, it was a estate sale and a moving sale. Well, it was a moving sale and first garage sale of the season. So I had picked up some old scissors, and I wanted something to display. So really, I just wanted this one. I will figure out what to do with these for the $5. Yeah, you know, sometimes you just do, because I wanted this one to display my scissors in. Do you all do that? Like, okay, but I want that. So until I find something better, I would like a bigger one, but yes. So, yep. And these are cute. There's a little ball in there. I can make these do something in my decor. So I was happy. I was happy that I got what I was looking for. And I did pick up these little bitty dice. So I think these were 49 cents. They're just little wooden dice. I don't know, things that are little and you can put in and set on shelves, and yeah, I have some difficulties passing little things up, especially when they're wooden, because I would just display them in a little dish or something. So do y'all like stories? So as you know, my son's the one that's doing our my eBay for me once a week, trying to help me out what people ask for or what people are interested in and popping it on. And anyway, so he works at the antique mall. So anyway, long story short, we had went to that community thrift, and sometimes she knows what things are worth, so sometimes you don't get a good deal on antiques or anything like that. And we had ran across the first piece of Vaseline glass. Is it called Vaseline glass? That glows, that has the uranium in it, but they had $49.99, and you can't video in this store. They anyway, so yeah, so he's looking at this longingly, wanting, you know, you can't, there's no resale in $49.99 of this beautiful compote dish. So long story short, we've been watching The Crazy Lamp Lady, and my husband was like, oh, look, she showed those little lights that you glow in the dark. so he was actually just looking for them on Amazon to see how much they were. And so weirdly enough, I had put an Amazon order in that I needed some printer's ink, and surprise, and I didn't realize those were in the cart. So all of a sudden we got these black lights, which are bigger than what I would want to carry. So that was just funny. So just happened to that night, Chris likes to go to Goodwill with us when he gets home from work. So that's our twice a day, going to our local Goodwill. So we had a black light. So this is the God wink moment. So Alex has his black light on him, and now I have gone to this Goodwill for I don't know how many times, and I know what this Vaseline glass looks like. I can't tell you that I've ever seen one. So all of a sudden I see this on the shelf. Now it's just a little bud vase, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So if you want a story of a God wink moment, yeah, I didn't even mean to order the black lights. My son had the black lights, and here is a piece of it. I mean, yeah, see, look at guys, that if if you're not a believer, I don't know what to tell. I don't know. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I've never seen a piece at a Goodwill. And what is the, so yep. Anyway, I'm just leaving it there. So yes. And that's something that he will resell on his, because really, you know, I'm just trying to get, if you guys ask me for something in the haul and if it's available, that's really what I'm reselling for you. I'll just have a little piece of ginger chick. I mean, I did do some of that Satin, but I should have let him sell it because nobody's coming to my looking for that. So then he did actually find 2 little dishes, $2.29 for the 2. And yes, they do glow. So we couldn't get the $49.99 combo dish. That's probably worth the you know, it's worth the $49. But you know what? Look at what God gave us. He gave us a little mud base and gave us some little dishes to start off with. So yeah, I didn't even know I I was getting these when my ink came. So that was, there you go. There you go. Happy little accidents, right? Well, now my next piece is, I hope you enjoyed that story because I got a hair dye. So I hope you enjoyed that story. I love sharing little stories with you all. So now my neck pieces, I'm gonna take my camera down. They're a little bit bigger. So let's check these pieces out. Oh, I have one little crock here sitting on my lap. I got so excited about the black light and the iridium glass that this was 49 cents. I don't pass up little crocks. You know, I have an obsession with crocks, so I noticed those right off the bat. So let's check out my big stuff. Okay, yep, I popped here on the floor to share the last few pieces that I have with you all. So yes, this beautiful, probably a Hobby Lobby piece, but I love that it had hooks. I love that it was kind of a, you know, an organization board, but look at these magnets. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's what got me. I might have passed it up if it was just, but the flowers got me. So this one, I think it was $8.29. So I'll just paint it up black. I can't remove this. It's, it would leave holes at the top of it. I guess I could fill them in. That's a thought, you know, as I'm going through my thought process with you all. So I like this. And here was this big gathered for $6.29. Now, if it was a Hobby Lobby piece, I would have probably passed it up, but it's somebody's made piece. It's just I mean, it's heavy, it's nice, and we all know how much wood. So I love to have, there you go. I love to have stuff hanging in on our pegboard in our booth. So yeah, I don't know. I still like the word gather, so we'll see. And I know it's brown. I'll leave it brown, see how it does. As always, you can always bring something home and repaint it. And I know you see that, but I'm not showing it yet. So the same person had one made, Count Your Blessings. I thought that was beautiful. $5.29 on this one. Yeah, so yep, I picked both of them up because I know how much work went into making a piece like this. And it's not vinyl, it's actually paint. So they stenciled it out and then they painted it. Yes, because if it was vinyl, I could grab it. It's definitely paint. And then, whoop, I know I'm teasing you. So for $2.29, I did pick up this old chalkboard. I have an idea for this. So I was glad that actually this caught my son's eye when he was out with us. So for $2.29 at the Salvation Army. Okay, now that I have the stuff out of this big guy, oh my gosh, guys, look at, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can get far enough away for you to see how big it is. Oh, now this one was $15.99. But look at it, and I probably will hoard this onto myself. Oh my goodness. And I'm surprised Chris was with me because every time I look at stuff like that, he's like, I could make that for you. I know you can, but it was old, and look at how you could tell they had picked it up a million times because this has the wear. And not that he couldn't make it, just hard to make it to look as old as I would like it. So yeah, I didn't pass it up, but she was just putting this on the shelf too when I came in. So I was like, thank you. Okay, so our last piece my son spied, $5.29. It needs to be worked on a little bit. But look at that. Industrial. It's a lamp. Yeah, let's set it up here because it's super heavy. It's just a neat piece. It's got a $75 price tag on it from probably booth 422. You know, I think Chris can rework it, maybe get a different lampshade, maybe get a cool bulb and not have a lampshade. I don't know. So I think Chris is going to play with it a little bit himself. I don't know if he'll have time before I get the other hall stuff done or not, but yeah, it's definitely just, it's just a cool piece. It's not something that you normally would run across in a thrift store all the time. So yeah. So let's get to those. We're going to start right off with that lamp. Now, I would prefer to thrift a new shade if I can run across one. It has an Edison bulb already in it. The finial, it's okay. I'm not sure that would have been the original finial, but the problem with the lamp at the $75 price tag is it is all loose. As soon as you pick it up, all the pieces kind of move around, and then the gauges on the top, they're just for looks. They don't actually work. But my concern was that the whole base and the whole lamp itself moves around. So what Chris is going to do is he's going to either remove the felt or take just a little piece of the felt off so he can get to tighten this all the way down so you don't feel like you're losing it when you're trying to carry it, because it's quite heavy. I was able to cut a hole in the bottom just enough that he could get some needle nose pliers in there to loosen up the bolt and see what's going on, because even the handles on the side have been swung around, that they have caused grooves in the wood, so those also need tightened along with the top. So actually the problem with the handles on the side is that the screw was too long, which was causing them to spin around. So all Chris is going to do is add a nut in a couple washers to make it so that it is nice and tight. So now that he has those tightened back up, he's going to go back from underneath and tighten that nut back. I think the nut was loose, which was making the top of it move too much. It was leaving it all wonky. So probably best just to leave that hole there than to cover it up, so that way you do have access to get to that nut in case it comes loose again. Now, I love the character of the wood, but I don't like all the dings and scratches. It's not so much on the front as it is where the handles were on the side, so I'm just going to go in with some Waverly antiquing wax. I'm going to go ahead and definitely push it into that raw wood where those big scratches are, and then just kind of blend it in with the rest of the wood on there, and I think that it should be good to go. Next up is this little globe, and as you see, yes, all the spindles have come loose over time. Maybe it wasn't the right glue, maybe it was dropped, I'm not really sure. Maybe it was donated and then dropped and then it all came apart, who knows. So Chris is just using some Tite Bond wood glue and then getting it glued back together. I always like to share these type of repairs, even though I'm not painting or doing things special. I just want you to all to know that you don't be intimidated by something that may be a little wonky, a little bit of brokenness, because there's always ways to fix it.
Now, I do think that these metal vases are just an amazing find, and that sticker on that bottom did not want to come off, but a heat gun, a blow dryer, or something to heat up and release that sticky, reactivate the glue that's causing that label to stay on there, hopefully will do the job, and then I can use my little scraping tool to get it off. Just like any item that you are going to be painting, you want to make sure that it's nice and clean, especially metal. Sometimes they don't look dirty, they don't look like they have a residue on them, but a lot of times they do, and metals are very funny when it comes to painting. You definitely want to make sure that you get them nice and cleaned and let them be thoroughly dry, because there's nothing, it's not soaking into anything when you paint them. It's just kind of curing and drying on the top of them. So you definitely want to make sure that you have a good base to start off with. And I have really good luck with the Rust-Oleum paint and primer in the flat black. This just covers well. A lot of times it's one coat coverage. A lot of times I do use it as an undercoat, but for these, this is going to be their final color. Rust-Oleum spray paint does have a primer in it, but it does not have a top coat. So I'm finished these vases off with some polycrylic in the matte finish. Now it's going to be the same process for this orb piece. I'm going to get it cleaned up. I'm going to make sure that it is nice and dry, especially with that wire circle. And then I'm going to spray it with the Rust-Oleum paint and primer in the flat black and seal it in with polycrylic. I don't know why black sells better for me than the brown. So even if it's in good shape and it's brown, I still, 9 times out of 10, am going to color it black. So sometimes it's always a hard decision. I know that black sells for me. I know that black metal sells for me. So when it came to this piece, I'm like, I know I need to paint it black, but I think I can add a little bit of patina. Not as much as what the patina is right now, because actually as I'm washing this off, all the rust that is creating is coming off on my hand. So I definitely need to repaint it and seal it in. Did you all see last week's thrift haul with the makeovers? And I had done the little boy and little girl statue, and I had painted that one black, and I had used this Rub and Buff copper color. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to go as extreme as I did on that statue, because the statue had so much more details, but I thought a little bit of accent on this I think will be very pretty. So now for this, oh my goodness, I just absolutely love those floral magnets. I'm going to go ahead and remove the hooks, remove the magnets. I'm going to see if I can take or tape off the wire that's the magnets are attached to. And then let's see about filling in those holes to get rid of that rope. that we have their new coat of paint on and sealed in. I absolutely love these little roses. I'm going to take some of this patina, which is an aqua blue patina that I link everything I use down below in my Amazon store. So all I'm doing is using a Dollar Tree stencil brush to slightly touch the tip of the petals to give them a little accent so you can see that separation of petals. As I'm screwing the hooks back in, you can tell that I used a little bit of that patina on this frame, but I did not like it. As I always say, do something until you love it. So after I got my hooks back on, I actually took some of the black rub and buff and went back over that frame to cover up what I had done. I just did not like it on the frame itself. Since I took the rope off, I need something else to hang it. So I'm just using one of the simple picture hangers to hang it. This is actually not a very heavy piece. And I know that this was in good shape, but that glossy white and not being able to really see those birdies, I definitely wanted to make them pop. So yep, I'm giving it a new coat of black paint, sealing that in with some polycrylic, and then yep, we're going to do a little bit of patina. I tell you, those patinas have been a game changer for me. This is actually just the silver wax, so it's the same brand that I get from Amazon that some of the patinas I have been using are. So I just actually, you can use your finger or a small brush like I am using, and then a little bit goes a long way. So definitely make sure you just have a little bit on, because you can see how fast, kind of like the rubbing buffs, that once you put it on there, it is on there. So you want to make sure that you're not putting it anywhere you don't want it, because you'll have to repaint over it. But I definitely think it's just going to accentuate these birds, these leaves, these branches. And then I'm just going to go along the outer tip just to tie this all in of each one of those plates. Now we're up to making this horse over. Now I love those little glasses on there. When I researched it, they weren't really worth that much, so I don't feel bad painting that. Definitely, yeah, it's a fun little print or whatever, but it just wasn't me. And if you feel it, you feel it. So yep, getting this sprayed up with some Rust-Oleum paint and primer too, starting off with that black base and then sealing that in after it's dry with polycrylic. So when you take a picture, instead of turning your camera on, and that is plain and simply what I did. So I'm going to be layering a few different layers here. I've got this Prima Rust patina on there first. Now I definitely love mixing these two patinas together. Now this is another rust, and as they oxidize, they do change. So going over this horse again with that, and I still cannot believe that I took a photo and did not video for you all the first layer. But that's the fun of the patinas. You just keep layering and playing with them, and as they oxidize, they change color a little bit, and then you just, there again, do it until you love it. What I'm trying to achieve with the antiquing wax, and now I'm using some Rub and Buff black, because that secondary rust kind of gave it a greenish tint that I don't like showing through, and I don't really want my horse to be green. So all I'm doing is just ever so lightly and not putting a lot on, toning that down. And there again, yep, I'm just keep working with them until I love it. And I definitely like how this is turning out after I'm adding that Rub and Buff. So never fear, you just keep layering it. It's only paint. You can, or patinas or Rub and Buff, and you can just keep adding more. So now up next is this little birdie. So that same paint job. Yep, I am a creature of habit. But if it works, you leave it alone. So Rust-Oleum paint and primer, seal it in with polycrylic, and then we get to start playing with the patinas. But now I'm curious. I've done enough videos now with the patinas and sharing them with you all that I do have a few people that commented that they are now trying the patinas. But just let me know down in the comment below if I have inspired you to start playing with some of these beautiful patinas. That I've ever taken any classes on patina. I just do what my eye likes. It's kind of a trial and error type of thing, and I don't even really know if I'm supposed to seal them in, but I can feel texture from those two jar patinas, so I usually do, especially since I think this could be an outside piece with some polycrylic. Now that there's this piece, it's an inkwell stamp set, so I did tape off that stamper on the bottom before spray painting it black. We really tried to find the exact match. There's actually a lot of them out there, so I can't say that this was a rare find by any means, but I definitely think that a lot of times that cherry, the mahogany red, I just wanted to give it some updating, and even if it's just a decor piece on somebody's shelf or usable on their desk if they want to get a quill or fill them up with ink, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So now that we got them all black and sealed in with polycrylic, I want to bring those engraved details back by using some white wax. I'm going to start off by just using one of those stencil brushes again from the Dollar Tree store and just working it into all those graves. It's really kind of hard not to get it all over the piece, but then I'll go back in with a cloth and wipe off the excess. Little did I know how handy black Rub and Buff was going to be. So you see, by putting the white wax on top of that black to get it into all the engraved areas, I kind of changed the color, and I really want that to be black. So then a little bit of Rub and Buff on a cloth again, and then just running it over gingerly over the entire piece, made it go black to black and then did not get into that engraved area. You know, when you're working on one piece, you start to eyeball another piece. There we go again, that rub and buff and this beautiful clock. So I put a little bit of tape to cover up that, because I don't really think that rub and buff will come off very easily. So tape that off. And I'm just ever so slightly letting it hit the details. I think this is just going to change it up just slightly and elevate this to the next level. I definitely already love the brown of the piece. I love all that detail. I didn't really want to personally paint this piece, but I do think that this black and rub and buff is just changing it just enough to make those details pop. And yep, if you wondered, is she going to paint this black also? Yep, I am. How many different ways can I do black? Well, I guess there's quite a few ways that you can change up black to make it different. So this one needed a little bit of a fixing. It had been dropped, it had come apart. So I'm just going to hold it tight and put a couple brad nails in to fix that. Now I'm going to add some of this Rose Cycle decoupage paper on the front of this. Now I always love to use up any scrap pieces that I can, and this is such a easy fix or easy update for this drawer. Unfortunately, I can't take the knobs off. If I hammered them, I could take a chance of cracking. It's just MDF board, so I'm just going to cut my piece and work around my knobs. To attach it to this drawer front, I'm just going to layer Mod Podge ever so lightly, not trying to goop it on. And then when it comes to laying the paper on, I will very gingerly try to center it so I'm staying straight. And then when it comes to the little knobs, I'll just take an X-Acto knife and make a little slit and fit it over those knobs. That the Mod Podge is dry, I'm going in with some sandpaper. That is the way that I'm going to cut it flush to the sides of this little drawer. It's a perfect way to cut this paper and then not accidentally cutting it wonky or cutting it too short. Now the drawer front did have some features, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a ruler, take an X-Acto knife, run that X-Acto knife down where they were embedded, engraved, cut out, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to go back in with my sandpaper and then do that same thing like I did to the side, sand it flush, cut that paper off. So now I'm just taking a hot iron, no steam, just over ever so gingerly working out any wrinkles. And I know I'm supposed to take some parchment paper, but there wasn't really a lot of room to work with parchment paper with these knobs. So I just tried to go very gingerly, just working out any of the wrinkles after the Mod Podge has dried. On this one, I want to go in and distress my edges, showing some of that natural wood through. As long as I push hard, I'm gonna get past what the blue was underneath. And then I'm going to take some steel wool over the entire piece, making sure that it's nice and smooth, and also open up that polycrylic because I want to put some antiquing wax all over the entire box and including that paper just to brown it up a bit. throwing this bonus piece in there. I just actually thrifted this from the Salvation Army for $4.99. Oh my goodness. And I am low on shelves, so I would like to have one. Anything that I can have on my inventory, to be able to use on my pegboard so I don't have any empty space is perfect. So decided to get this one in with this grouping, spray painting it up black. Yes, I know that it's wood, but the black spray paint works for so many items, and when you only have one item like this that we're gonna go ahead and spray paint it black and then seal it in with polycrylic. Now, I don't want to leave this black. I want to show off some of the details. This is a big piece. I kind of envision it white, but I really, when I did those other two wall decors with that crackle, I really kind of wanted to play with it a little bit more. Kind of like that patina. You learn a technique and you're like, oh, I want to find more things to use it on. So, yep, I'm going to go ahead and paint on a generous amount of the glue. This is just Dollar Tree glue. Elmer's glue works. Somebody commented that another YouTuber was using hairspray, but remember, I am a retired hairdresser, so I'd have to actually go and buy off the counter hairspray because mine is way too expensive to use on a piece like this. So, but maybe sometime I'll give that hairspray thing a try and go see if I can find out how to do that. So, yep, I'm just applying the glue to the shelf. Definitely willing to spend $1 to make this crackle effect. Now I could tell you can see kind of I have some runnage going on there. I might have applied too much, but we'll deal with that later. But I need to go ahead and make a little bit of a crusty top, that way that the paint and the glue are not completely mixing with each other. So just taking a blow dryer to dry it a little bit. And then now I'm going to go in with just Kills paint and primer, and the wall decor that I did, it only took one coat. So I've got a generous amount on my brush, which seems to be covering, and it already, as it's starting to dry, is starting to crackle. So after I got it all on, I'm going in and taking a heat gun to help it dry. And you can see I definitely put too much glue on this time. Oh, well, just wait till it's dry. We can, what do I always say? We can just paint over paint. So, yep, I'm just going to help it dry so I can go ahead. But it is kind of fun to watch it crackle as it's drying. Okay, so this is way too much crackle for me, but I'm going to go ahead, take some sandpaper, sand it. I'm not sanding my crackle off. I'm just making sure that my area is nice and smooth, and then I'll go back in with some paint and tone this crackle down. I think a little bit of crackle goes a long way, and I probably overdid it, but like everything, you have to be new at some point, learning something, and I learned from my mistakes, trial and error type of thing. So, and this could be somebody's look that they like, but for me, it's a little too much. But I've got that toned down and the crackle that I think is okay. I'm going to go ahead and de-stress my edges. I really think it's going to tie this whole piece together. And as I'm distressing, I'm going to go ahead, taped off the back so I didn't get any run over. The back's still that yellowy color, but it's nice and clean, and I just needed to remove my tape and sand off that hard, crusty edge where paint builds up. Then I think this is personal. I'm not really sure the glue paint ratio. If that's on there, it's good to go. I just feel a little bit safer sealing it in with some polycrylic.
So thank you for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed watching the haul. Let me know what your favorite find that I found throughout this last week was, and also which one item I made over. And I have to thank you all for enjoying hauls and makeover videos, because you're really helping me keep my inventory in check and things aren't just sitting on the shelf waiting to be done. So again, thank you all for that. And if you're new and you're checking out this content for the first time and you like secondhand makeovers and thrift store shopping, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when we've uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.